going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? I think y'all can hear me. Yeah, you guys can hear me. How's everybody doing? What's going on? I am Boxman. This is Wrestling Outlet. Hope y'all are doing good. Just me for right now. Smark's going to be here in just a little while. Don't worry. You don't have me all night just blabbing my fucking mouth off. No. Smark will be here in a little bit. So we'll go ahead and, there's a ton to get into. But I do want to talk a little bit about Elimination Chamber. Obviously, a few things big happened at Elimination Chamber, so we're going to have to talk about that. We got a little bit on Pat McAfee tonight. More than a little. That guy's having a rough time, folks. He's having a pretty rough time, I'll tell you that. And a few other things to get into. Obviously, AEW made an announcement today about a distribution deal they made, and we've got a ton more to get into, folks. But Elimination Chamber was last Saturday. We've got Revolution for AEW coming up on Sunday, so the pay-per-views just keep going and going and going. And Revolution, once Smark is here, we usually end the show with predictions, so we will end the show with those predictions. So definitely we'll get that over with after the show. But we've got a few more things, though, to get into as we can go. And I guess we can start talking a little bit about Elimination Chamber. Now, let's face it, we know most of the stuff that happened at Elimination Chamber. We know Bianca Belair won the match. We know Kevin Owens won his match. And we know that John Cena did win the Elimination Chamber. Now, after the Chamber, The Rock came out, wanted to, with Travis Scott, and wanted to basically ask Cody, you got to answer my question. He asked him, on Raw the week before. He said, are you going to be my champion? I want your soul. I want your soul. That's what he kept saying. He wanted his soul. So he kept going through that. And it was, obviously you guys have seen it by now. You got Travis Scott in the corner of the ring lighting sage. Don't ask me, folks. Don't ask me. Cleaning the air. I don't know if The Rock told him it was something to do. Who knows? But anyway, it's all right. It's all right. But that happened, and then Cody says no. Actually, he said fuck you. And The Rock or Cena was all happy and cheering. The Rock was all, what the hell's going on? And then Cena hugged him, and suddenly Cena got boo-boo faced. He got that Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 face, the painting. That's what Cena looks like when he gets mad. Vigo. I think that guy's name was Vigo. But that's who he looks like when he gets mad. So he got that face going, and then The Rock put up his fingers, boom, kicked Cody in the balls. John Cena heel turn, folks. After 22, 23 years? Wow. And I see a lot of people complaining about, oh my God, I'm not going to do any more Make-A-Wish. Who says? Hey, you think he's just going to, you'll be surprised. Some kids may want heel Cena to do a fucking Make-A-Wish. Who knows? Some kid might just go, I don't care. He's not going to be heel Cena once he's in the fucking room. We know this. So anyway, listen, it's pretty big, the fact that they turned John Cena heel. I didn't think they would do it in his last year, but hey, why not? Why not? He's wanted to do this. He's said on many interviews that he wanted to do this years and years ago. He even said he had spent like $5,000 on new gear, and they changed their mind, and he ended up telling the guy to just make make 5,000 worth of gear for someone else or whatever he said. But it was a nice gesture, whatever he did. Now, folks, let's face it. I've been saying for a very long time, I watched Total Divas when John Cena was on it. That man is a fucking natural heel. He's a natural heel, folks. I'm telling you now. What's going on, Norab? Cena's a natural heel, folks. I 100% believe that. If you watch the Total Divas episode he is on, that dude's a heel. One episode, Nikki cooks in his kitchen, and he came in. I don't think he had ever used his kitchen before because he wants it clean. He's that weird guy that won't use his kitchen because when he bought the house, he liked it the way it looked. So, this doesn't want to mess up the stove or anything. But there was one episode he basically sat there and gave rules to everybody on, man, I should just find the fucking clip and play all the audio. But he literally gave rules to everybody on the house because it was Total Divas. It was him, Nikki, John Laurinaitis was there. They were all staying the night. Let me see here. John Cena, not turn heel 2025. I should put turn heel whenever that episode was. Total Divas House Rules. Bingo. I know not everybody watched this show. All right, it's 1:35. Well, I got 1:23 here. This was like a formal family dinner. Okay. So here we go. I'm just going to play the audio. I shouldn't get in trouble for just audio. I don't even think there's music behind it, but I just want to make sure. Nora, did you hear that? I just want to make sure real quick. That did come through, right? If you don't mind just saying quick yes or no. I just want to make sure before I play the clip it's being heard. Smark usually tells me whether he can hear it or not. So hopefully Norab heard it and he's still sitting down. So I'm just going to wait a second and blab here for a minute or less. But hopefully he heard it. You know what? I'll just go ahead and play it. It should be coming through. If I heard it, you should be able to hear it. I'm just going to bring it back. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Mm. Now, to finish that statement, text me or tell me. You know what? Let's see if they finish it because he basically tells him he's got guns. Let's see if he finishes it here. Wait, she had to sign a contract to live in this man's home. This man has been a heel for years, folks. Y'all didn't see it because you didn't watch this shitty show. He didn't finish it. Basically, he told them that I will shoot first and ask questions later. We have a ton of guns in the house. So please text me if you're going to be up late. Basically, is what he was saying to them. Text me. That man's crazy, folks. That man is fucking insane. John Cena, though, has been a heel for a long time, folks. He seems like kind of one of those OCD guys that really just has OCD. He's got all these rules. He's got this. He's got that. He likes everything prim and proper and don't move it. Don't touch it. He seems like one of those OCD guys, which isn't an issue. I've got little things myself. I know everyone's got little things that they do and don't do. But I mean, so it's not a big deal. But man's been a heel for a long time, folks. But that was pretty ballsy. And I got to tell you, I don't think if Vince McMahon was there, this would have happened. I think Vince McMahon would have rathered get the huge boost of merch sales for John Cena. I really do. I think that's what would have happened. But listen, we're in a different time now. We got Triple H running this bad boy. So, but here we go. We got the man, the myth, the legend joining us now. What's up, my man?
What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just talking a little bit about the John Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber.
Indeed.
What did you think, man? What I mean, we've all seen it by now, and I even kind of talked about it. But what did you think, bro?
He did something that I never thought he would be able to do, in so much as he got everybody to cheer him by kicking Cody square in the dick.
I mean, you would cheer him for doing it either way. You cheer anybody for doing it. Be honest, Mark.
Well, yeah. And what's funny is, like, when I watched it, what was interesting about it was that, like, I don't know if you watched the pay-per-view as it happened or not, but like, it happened well after the match was over. Like, I was kind of on the verge of turning it off because it was like, all right, Cena won. It was a good show. Whatever. It's like, all right, it's over. Like, they might do like a video package at the end showing everything that happened or whatever, but like, it's over. And like, as I'm about to turn it off, The Rock comes out and I was like, all right, I'll fucking let this ride for a minute, whatever. Or Cody came out first.
Right.
I was like, oh, God, that incentivized me to turn the shit off anyway. So I was like, oh, boy. And I leave it on. The Rock comes out, and then, like, even when he does the throat slash, thing, I'm like, oh shit. He kicks Cena square in the dick, and then I watched that like 27 times. Like, if there was a way that I could have just put that on loop, I would have just fallen asleep to it that night. It was just so very comforting.
And he got the Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 face going on, where that mad look he gets, where he goes stone face.
Yeah, well, when Cena hit that look, I was like, I thought he was looking at The Rock like that. I was like, okay, what's gonna happen now then? And then did the throat slash thing. I was like, oh, cool, shit, fuck yeah.
Yeah, man, good shit. I mean, listen, I was just saying right before you hopped on here, which, by the way, I'm glad I see you weren't that late. You said you were just going to be a little bit late. It's exactly what you are. No problem.
Yeah, I just had to grab a quick shower.
Yeah, I could smell you. Nah, I'm joking, obviously. But pretty ballsy move by Triple H. Now, in my opinion, do you think I had an opinion on this just a few minutes ago, but do you think this would have happened if Vince McMahon was there?
It's a hard question to ask or to think about, because like, so many things would have been different. There would have been so many other variables. So it's like, you kind of have to think like, okay, if everything was exactly the same, but just Vince is in charge, would that have happened? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think it would have either. I just think I was saying right before you hopped on, I think Vince would have rather get the big boost in merch sales rather than have this great storyline. And I think a lot of people would rather this storyline happen, and that's a good fucking thing right there. So good shit there, man. But ballsy by Triple H to do this. This is a risky move.
And I think it speaks to, it's a testament to his ability to get people over its faces. Because, like, you don't necessarily need Cena, or you don't need the crowd to be behind Cena in order to have people interested in the show. You have Cody, and, like, regardless of what I think of him, a lot of people like Cody. Again, regardless of what I think of him, a lot of people like Jey. So, like, you have a couple of other faces, like top faces, that you're not, like, super thin there. You have a little bit of depth in terms of faces that you don't need Cena to, like, kind of carry the load the way that he had in the past, where, like, you're saying Vince was around, Vince would bring him back every so often because there was no, like, top face, and he just immediately filled that role again. So,
right. Yeah. Now, what did you think of Travis Scott in the background lighting sage?
That was, I honest to God thought that he was going to hit him with a fucking fireball. And I was so ready for it. And when it didn't happen, I was like, because like he looked like it was like a situation where at first, the first time they showed him doing it, it was like maybe they weren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Was my feeling of like he was setting up a fireball and they weren't supposed to show him, but then he just kept doing it. And I was like, what the, is he fucking smoking a joint? Like, what the fuck is he doing? And then they make sure to mention on commentary that it's sage, but I don't know what the fuck that's about. Like, I know his music. Now, I'm not like a super fan, but like I know his songs, some of his songs at least, and I've seen a couple of his music videos. I don't know what the fuck the sage thing is about, but what I do know is that he did basically a reverse like I Show Speed situation where he fucking the protected the business from the guy that's actually working because he fucking potatoed that man as hard as he could. God bless. I'm going to buy every one of his CDs.
But Cody is swearing. I swear he never touched me. He never touched me. Oh, Cody, we saw this, my man. We all watched on fucking camera. We've seen it. There was Cody. You listen. You can't back out of this one. We saw what we saw, my man. We saw what we saw.
He hit that man square in the face as hard as he could.
Oh, cracked the shit out of him. But listen, great moment though, man. I like I said, I don't know if it's 22 or 23 years, but Cena's been a fucking baby face that fucking long.
Which I was real quick to go back to the Travis Scott thing just before a second. It was the right thing to do, aside from me just not liking Cody. Just the idea of just because I imagine they had some sort of an outline. They told him what to do, and like just having him just straight up hit him as hard as he can for real is way better than trying to just have faith that he'll throw a good worked punch. Yeah. So that was a good idea. The Cena thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was almost a second, like kind of almost an afterthought for me because I was just so happy that somebody was beating the shit out of Cody. That was like, oh, holy shit, yeah, Cena's turning heel. Like this hasn't happened in fucking 20 or something years, like you said. It's fucking crazy.
Good stuff. Like I said, it's ballsy, but it's great stuff. I got a feeling this was Cena's idea. I think Cena, he's been wanting to do this, and he might have said, "Fuck it, for my last hurrah, let's just do this." And I guess it just all worked out, but man, crazy shit going down over there in WWE, but it definitely did. It definitely made for a hell of a fucking pay-per-view. You also had Drake was there. We had the return of Orton and Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Cargill looking just as delicious as always.
Indeed.
As always.
Now, I will say that I made the unfortunate mistake of because after the show ended, I was like, oh man, that was a lot of fun. It was like we were talking about, it was an easy watch. It was a little bit longer than it should have been with the commercials and extra bullshit, but whatever. It was about 2.5, 3 hours, whatever. Nah, it was a fun show. I enjoyed it. I was like, all right, fucking I'll watch some more wrestling. Why not? I had a good time. It's a rare feeling to have after watching a wrestling show. Being like, hey, what would be good is more wrestling. So I turned on Collision. I think the first hour or 45 minutes or so is good. Mm-hmm. They bring out the fucking Costco guys. It's time to go to bed. I was just like, there was nothing that they legitimately could have done realistically to compete with that show because it was a pay-per-view versus a regular weekly show. But you just had one of the biggest angles in recent memory. And then the other show has the fucking Costco guys talking about chocolate chip cookies. And I'm just like, no, enough. It's enough for the night.
Collision is 2 hours? Oh.
Yeah, it was Rampage's the hour-long show. The first hour was good, but my heart got sad when I realized that fucking Mark Briscoe was going to be stuck teaming with one of the Costco guys. That made me so sad.
I honestly thought that was a 1 hour show. I don't. Why would you put a 2 hour show on a fucking Saturday?
I mean, it's every Saturday.
Well, why? That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I would cut that show down to an hour immediately. If I was a big shot company owner, I'd ask for it to be cut down at least. Of course, the internet would lose their fucking minds.
Not necessarily related to AEW per se, but Luke had an interesting point here.
He does. He does.
He said that like a lot of cities and states like to name their sports teams after major disasters. It's like you have the like Miami Hurricanes as an example. Of course, yeah. Colorado has.
It's an avalanche. Snow filled the air, buries everything. Time to be scared. You better be aware. It's a nightmare. You better run away if you just can't.
The Rockies? The Rocky Mountains?
Actually, yeah, Colorado does have the Rockies, but Colorado Avalanche, or is it the? Yeah, it's Colorado, I believe. It's either Colorado or Denver, but it's either state or city. It's still the same place.
Drinking the fucking Rockies right here, baby. Cold as the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
Coors Light, hit me up. I'll promote the shit out of your beer. Send me some. Send me a keg. Just one keg.
I hadn't looked at the chat in a minute, and Luke kept trying to hit it so that he could go to bed, so I figured I would help him out.
Good man. Good man. Oh, shit.
Chicago Fire, Colorado something. That was my cue. What was the other ones? Kansas City Tornadoes. That's got to be... It's a basketball team? I didn't know that. San Jose Earthquake Soccer. That makes sense. Miami Hurricanes, I said that one.
Yep.
The Jets isn't inherently a natural disaster or a disaster / tragedy. I don't know what you're pulling for there, Fred.
I mean, there have been a few bad things with trains lately. Yeah, I got it.
Nora says you're not true fans if you don't know how long the show is and can't stay up to see it. No, I knew how long the show was, and I could stay up to watch it. I opted not to when they had Mark Briscoe teaming with the Chocolate Chunk Cookie. Well, not teaming this week because he cut a promo with them, but
I think he was talking about me. I didn't know how long the show was, and no, I gotta be honest. I've never watched Collision. I got shit to do on Saturday nights. I got fucking TV to watch. I'd rather do that than watch fucking wrestling. I hate to tell you. But
well, it was wielded at or aimed at both of us because he said true fans not knowing how long the show was. That's you, and not staying up to watch it was me. I was capable of staying up to watch it. I just wasn't trying to fuck with the Costco guys. Like, you can't make me sit through FTR and the Costco guys. That's a bridge too far. Like, it's one or the other, preferably neither, but it's a bridge too far.
Gotcha.
Norab said Jade Cargill returned with a vengeance, which is true. She fucking
went in there and beat the snot out of Naomi.
Her beatdowns look really good. Like, it looked like she was fucking her up for realsies.
Because she's so fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
In the right places. Right places. Trust me, I'm not saying she is far from fat, folks. That girl is amazing. I think she's gorgeous, actually. Love her body the way it is.
Stephen Butler wants to know, do you think wrestling is at a point where shows must be done live, or is it possible tape shows can succeed? I think all shows must be live. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, it's really hard. Spoilers come out and people will just read the results and be like, nah, I'll just go on YouTube later. Pretty much, if you really go back to what the biggest live events go back to 2024. They were live events. All the live events were the big thing. The Tyson fight was gigantic. I wonder why. That was in 2024, wasn't it? 2024.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Like, wait a minute. It might have been early January. All right. See, there was that, and just go back. Live football, live this, live that. Any sporting event now does great. Fucking the Oscars. My God, what was it? 17 point something, 6 million or something. Watch the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So things definitely draw ratings, but live is where it's at nowadays. Listen, streaming is great for movies, for television shows, but for something like wrestling, pretty much any sporting event or sports entertainment, I would say, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know.
There's a couple of caveats here, though. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you're talking about just like a one-off, it can be done. It can be successful as a one-off because the AEW had that collision like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever. that was done in Australia.
Yeah.
And like, just because of the time zones, all that shit, they had to tape it. And like, they did a pretty good job of, I didn't see a lot of spoilers, and like, it was a pretty good show. So like, you can do it every so often, but on a weekly basis, it's hard. But then also at the same time, like when it's a taped show, typically people know that spoilers are going to come out, or people are going to be less likely to watch it. It seems like the company puts less effort into the show overall. The other caveat I will say is if you do it in front of like not so many people, like i.e. Lucha Underground, like Lucha Underground, all of their shit was taped, and it was, people loved it. I loved it, but it was just a different like form of storytelling. So like you would have to do like a Lucha Underground situation if you're doing it on a weekly basis, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Lucha Underground was fucking awesome, but I mean, if you just, it's definitely something that live events are just always more. I got to tell you, when WWE would go over to England, London, and they would tape the shows, and then the results would be out an hour after the fucking show was over. I hated those shows because the results were all over the fucking place. Now, WWE is doing a much better job at keeping stuff like that under wraps longer, but I definitely think you've got to be live. People are definitely tuning in to live stuff, especially on the streaming sites like Netflix, obviously, and stuff like that. So Max, whatever you're tuning in on,
right?
Yeah. Do I like Oscar De La Hoya? Is he asking me that? I like Oscar De La Hoya. Nora. I like boxing.
Good night, Luke. See you Tuesday.
Have a good one. Take it easy, my man.
So, I'm well behind the shit here. You mentioned Oscar De La Hoya. I was like, where the fuck? Where are you seeing that happen?
It's down at the bottom there, and we should call this show The Outlet. No, I've already started making new logos. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. I think there was a show called The Outlet. Not a wrestling show, but it was. There was a show.
Real fans would also watch Stuttering John cameo videos. Real fans of what, Brito? Real fans of Stuttering John?
Boy, what's wrong with man? Man, you got to get out, bro. It's a lot of Hugsy, a lot of Stuttering John. You got to branch out, man. Watch a cop show or something. I just started watching Blue Bloods. Check out Blue Bloods. Go ahead.
I think the Stuttering John thing's a relatively new development because it was the Hugsy thing's been there for a minute. There was some other guy, I don't know, like his name was like the Duke or some shit. That's new.
Okay, well there you go. He's got someone new. I know that Tyson fight. I know I fucked up. Luke's gone, I think. If he's not, I apologize again. Didn't mean it. Yeah.
No, hold on.
We are. We're fake fans. We are.
We're not fake fans because check this shit out.
Hi. Wow, my favorite baseball player of all time, Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig one. If I had two of them, and if the one that I had I uploaded wasn't the Lou Gehrig one, I was going to watch it in its entirety. But we've already watched the part where he claims that Lou Gehrig is still alive or whatever the fuck happened.
There you go. Now I do have a quick video of MJF talking about the Cena.
Stuttering John.
What?
You talking about Stuttering John?
No. MJF talking about the MJF talking about the Cena turn and being a top guy.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, let's just play it.
I can't have the top guy from AEW on, not ask him. So I just give me your whole take on the John Cena.
I get really annoyed when people in either company pretend that they don't. Let me put it this way.
Yep.
Yes, I was watching it. I was watching it live. It was an awesome moment, and everybody should think it was an awesome moment because it was point blank, end of discussion. If you are in the world of professional wrestling, if you are a top guy, and you don't watch as much or consume as much professional wrestling as you possibly can you call yourself a student of the game? Can you say you're giving your best foot forward? Can you claim to be one of the best in the sport? In my opinion, no, you absolutely cannot. So if you were to ask a WWE star, have you been watching AEW? And they say no, one of two things is happening. One, they're lying through their fucking teeth, or two, they don't care enough about this industry to study what's going on in it. But yeah, dude, it was awesome.
Okay,
it was fucking awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
All right, so there's a couple things there. First of all, he was asked about the John Cena thing. He did watch it. It was fucking awesome. But as far as what he just said there, you should be consuming as much wrestling as possible if you want to consider yourself a top guy. What do you think about that?
I mean, as much as possible is kind of a weird way to put it, but like, I see the idea of like having an idea of what everybody else is doing or like what's going on just in the industry as a whole. But like, at what point does that become unreasonable? Where it's like, okay, sure, watch some AEW. Are you really out here watching Collision like every week? Are you out here watching like the fucking stuff they put on YouTube? Like conversely, if you're watching WWE and you're an AEW guy, are you out here fucking checking out Evolve? Are you checking out LFT? Like, I can't imagine like fucking Swerve sitting down with his like wife and kids and be like, all right, let's boot up some LFG. I want to see Bubba Ray yell at a fucking 20-year-old for like 3 hours. That'll be fun.
And now season 2 has already started, and they already got rid of Mickey James, and Michelle McCool is coming in. To bring in Michelle McCool, they said, "Oh, Mickey James, didn't we send you a garbage bag? What the fuck are you doing here?"
As much as things change, as much as they stay the same. It's like all right, what would Mickey James? You know who actually would know about like quality wrestling is Michelle McCool. Get the fuck out of here, Mickey James. Who'd you ever beat?
We got a fucking Hall of Famer coming in, bitch.
Poor Mickey James.
Grab your garbage bag.
She was promoting that movie that just came out, or is coming out tomorrow, the Queen of the Ring.
She's in that. Oh, she is in
I
it.
don't know if she. What's weird? I guess I would make sense if I checked out the IMDb, but like they have the weirdest like roster of wrestlers promoting this shit. Because I know for a fact Toni Storm's in it, as you know, you saw in the promo last night. Mm-hmm. She was not out here at the red carpet event promoting it. You know who was? Fucking Jeff Jarrett, Mickey James, and of course, noted women's wrestling enthusiast Mick Foley.
Wow, weirdness.
It is a weird ensemble of wrestlers out there promoting this movie at like the red carpet events and shit.
That is kind of weird, but I mean, Toni Storm, she promoted the hell out of it last night. They even had the director or someone on. I think it was a director, art something. But anyway, whatever that fucking guy's name was, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
What I'm saying? What?
Ash Elvildidson? Like his first name's Ash for sure, and then it's like some weird, hard to pronounce last name.
All I can see is like the corner of your right eye.
That's all you need to. Oh shit, Walton Goggins is in this. I'm definitely watching this motherfucker.
Talk about a badass actor, man. that guy has been in oh my God, Major League 3. My God, he was young as shit in that. The Shield, Predators,
Justified.
Yep, Justified. He's got a TV show out right now too.
Yeah.
It looks hilarious because he's in this crazy outfit. He almost looks like Ric Flair.
This is an I wonder when they started shooting this, because this is interesting. Because I'm just seeing now that Toni Storm's in it, but also Naomi's in it. So that's kind of interesting.
Yep,
Britt Baker. It's a giant close up of her nose.
I believe Britt Baker might have been taken off the roster, so she may be done with AEW. I don't know what's going on with that. She may be renewing her contract. I don't know what's happening with that, but we'll get into that another time when we find out a little more about it. But I don't know, man. You got anything more on the Elimination Chamber or Cena or we were still talking the top guy thing. I don't know, man. But I can see where somebody would be like, "Oh, that's kind of bullshit. You can't watch everything." He did say as much as you can. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you should be watching your competition, even if you don't consider them competition. You should be watching. You should be. You should be knowing at least what they're doing, even if you just check out YouTube clips. You should probably at least see what's going on over there. That's all.
I would say bare minimum pay-per-views or PLEs if you want to be an asshole about it. I more than anything, though, I feel like if you're going to watch things to study them, I feel like they'd be better off studying like either like older shows or like different territories and shit like that, and or just like stuff that they're doing in different countries, Mexico, Japan, whatever. Versus like you don't want to really watch a lot if you're studying just what they're doing in WWE. Then you're just wrestling the way that they wrestle, and it's like there's plenty of people who do WWE style or AEW style as it is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be a good place to start with, is the PLEs or whatever you want to fucking call them. They're fucking pay-per-views, goddammit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at this point what anything's called at this anymore. But yeah. So all right, I guess we can move on from that and start talking a little bit now. Smark.
Yes.
Mr. Pat. This is coming out of that pay-per-view. Now, we've talked about the pay-per-view or PLE, but we didn't talk about the beginning of the pay-per-view, or what. I'm sorry. I can't stop calling it a pay-per-view. We didn't talk about the beginning where Pat McAfee had a little meltdown because the Canadian fans were booing our national anthem in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Canada. They cheered for their national anthem, obviously, but they booed for ours, which they've been doing since this little tariff thing started with Trump.
Yes.
They've been doing this, and that's I don't give a shit. I believe it or not, I kind of find it funny, but they did that, and the show starts, and Pat McAfee yelling and with his face right in the camera, standing up, says, "This is the most stacked elimination chamber the WWE has ever had. Kind of sucks that it's in a terrible it's in the terrible country of Canada that booed our national anthem to start this entire thing," he shouted. So he's in a little trouble, Smart, for calling Canada a terrible country. So what do you think now? Now, was that horrible? First of all, just remember, this was on a wrestling show. Pat McAfee is a wrestling announcer. Did you think he said anything wrong there as a wrestling announcer?
No, I guess. It's hard because like wrestling and like even for just recent memory, and when I say recent memory, I mean like for as long as like Vince was there, like they were doing USA equals good, foreigners equal bad, or some version of that. Like when you're in Canada, it's the opposite, whatever. Like they still, for a very long time, even like I guess to some degree still right now as we speak, they've used nationalism as angles. So it's like it's kind of hard to like, is he doing it through that lens, through that prism, or is he is he sitting here saying like, I, Pat McAfee, as a person, fucking hate Canada, fuck you, Canada, like.
Yeah, and Stephen Butler, I get you guys are booing Trump. You're booing the tariff war. I get it, and dude, I got to tell you, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. These tariffs are fucking killing my company too. Corrugated's gone up. Plastics are going up. A lot of businesses out here make either cylinders, pumps for the oil industry. Because remember, I'm out here in East Texas, man. I got oil everywhere. Oil pumps all over the place out here. A lot of those places use steel. A lot of them make cylinders out here. And they are really going to be hit by this steel tariff. So it's costing me accounts. It's costing me business, new accounts, because people right now that use the steel are afraid to order it because of what's going to happen with the tariffs. So and they're actively looking for new vendors in the United States to not have to deal with the tariffs. So trust me, man, this thing's hurting me personally. This is taking food out of my mouth, this fucking tariff war. I am 100% not happy with it. And I get you guys are booing Trump. You're not booing our national anthem. Mike Myers, Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
A fucking hilarious one. I saw what he did on SNL. I laughed. People, we got to get our sense of humor back. We got to laugh at both sides. We have to. If we don't, we're going down. We're going down, folks. We got to laugh. We got to get our laughs back. That's what I think we need to do, Smart. We need our laughs back.
I will say this. First off, I don't care. Like, boo if you want to. That doesn't affect me. Like, I'm not gonna like rip my shirt like Hulk Hogan and just fucking point at you. And but I will say, conversely, though, like, and the point is, like, he's like Steve Butler says, they're booing Trump. They're not booing America as a country or what have you. But conversely, I will say that if the shoe was on the opposite foot, and like somebody was like people from America were like booing at the Olympics. And somebody was like singing like the Sudanese national anthem or whatever, like there'd be a giant fucking uproar. So it's like
probably
that, but at the same time, like I do get it. And it's like it doesn't offend me, but there is a little bit of a hypocrisy to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. There is, but again, listen. Crowds do their thing. If it makes them listen, it's called crowd participation, folks. So I don't give a shit if it's negative or positive. They weren't hurting anybody. They weren't throwing anything. They weren't putting anybody's lives in danger. They simply booed. Now, I also get what Pat McAfee did. Now, he put out an apology. Now, Keith Olbermann, former ESPN employee, wants him fired. Like, he was pissed about this. He wants him fired.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling ESPN went to Pat and said, Pat, you got to apologize. We got shit going on with Canada. You got to apologize. I got the apology.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I will also say real quick as an aside, like they also booed at the Four Nations, which is like a hockey tournament that I believe NHL did, where it was like US, Canada, I forget the other two countries. I really should have remembered. But yeah, anyways, Four Nations tournament, they were booing the national anthem there too. So like it's a precedent. Like it's happened before and it's going to happen again probably for the next 4 years on and off. So
probably
it's really nothing to be shocked, elated, or offended by ultimately.
Yeah, start laughing now so it doesn't bother you down the road. Start laughing about it now, folks. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, here's the apology that I believe he was forced to put out. I don't know. The ending didn't seem so sincere to me, but let's do this.
Now, Canada, listen, there's been some things said to me from Canadians that I guess I respect, because of the passion that you have for your country, which I hope you understand that I was showing the same for mine. You booed my country. Now, I heard from a lot of Canadians during the national anthem, obviously, the Rogers Center, overwhelming boo. I mean, very loud boo. First reaction whenever a national anthem starts up there was for some of these Canadians just to start booing. And I'm like, what? Okay. My entire life, my first reaction when somebody boos the national anthem is, fuck you.
Yeah.
That is mine. I'm very thankful that I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the United States of America. I'm very proud that I am from the United States of America. And is everything perfect? Absolutely not. But my dad went from being a truck driver to a millionaire because he taught his son a work ethic and that anything is possible on this land here in the United States. Now, I know that we're not the only country that has that happen, but in my life, that is the case. I've also moved out here to Indiana and got a chance to meet a lot of military members. I've been to a lot of bases. I know Gold Star families. I know people that have been affected for fighting for our country that really see the national anthem as like hey, this is our shit. So anytime I've ever heard somebody boo our national anthem, my natural reaction is, let's fight. That is literally my natural reaction. Now, a lot of Canadians have told me, why don't you do a little investigating on why we're booing? Okay, did you hear what your president said? Okay, listen, I understand there's political differences at the current moment between us and Canada. But I feel like anytime I think of Canada, I don't think of what Justin Trudeau does. I don't think immediately of Justin Trudeau's decisions. I don't think immediately of what Canada is doing in the political sphere. I think of the people of Canada. I think of Gumpy. I think of Poutine. I think of the magical times that I had up in Niagara Falls as a teenager at the Wild Mushroom, the old casino, the new casino. Let's not even talk about the adult ballets that maybe introduced me to a lot of things in life. I think about loonies and toonies and good times and mounties allowing teenagers puke in their streets because maybe we're a little bit overserved. That's what I think of when I think of Canada. I don't think of Justin Trudeau. Okay, so I understand now from the Canadians that they have a lot more passion for their country than I could have ever imagined. A lot of terrible things have been said about me, and I understand it. You boo my country, I called your country terrible. Let's shake hands, okay? You said you didn't boo every member of the United States or every citizen of the United States of America. Well, I didn't say the Canadians are terrible. I said your country was. So you booed us. I said you're terrible. Let's shake hands. Let's move along.
There you
okay?
go.
That's what I would like to say. And I still love Canadians, okay? We got one in the building. Literally hired right off of a ship painting job in the Northwest Canada, brought him in. His diction, his accent, the words he says, the way he says things, I think exemplifies what Canadians are as a whole. His attitude, his peace, everything like that. So I love Canadians, but my first reaction whenever you boo our country is, well, okay, let's fight. And I'm sorry. So let's go shake their hands. Canada.
Boom.
Wait, we've got one here. One what? Wait, where are we? Yeah, come on, we got one here. Hey, I'm not racist. My friend here is black. Hey, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like I said, the ending did not seem too sincere. Let's just shake hands and move on now. All right. But
I would have loved for somebody to press him on this because he was like, I don't think about Justin Trudeau and I don't think about Justin Trudeau's policies. But like, hey, Pat, what are those? Just can you name one of them? Can you name two of them? Like, how much do you know about? Like, I'll admit, I don't know a goddamn thing about Justin Trudeau, but I would be willing to bet neither does Pat McAfee. It doesn't strike me as somebody who's really interested in foreign affairs of any kind.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I totally get I'm having to keep up with this tariff thing because I don't have a choice. Like I said, it's affecting my fucking business. So it's definitely something I need to keep my eye on. And literally already transportation companies are already warning people of hikes in pricing on that. Something I'm lucky, my owner definitely is good at negotiating that. But there's a lot of things that are just going to be, it definitely could get tough right now. And the steel tariff is big out here. Like I said, that is huge in my area with everything that people, all the businesses out here that really, that honestly serve the oil industry, which I mean, I'm telling you now, I wish if I was in the oil business, I'd be able to find a ton of business out here, but it's a lot of companies out here. Like I said, you got coil manufacturers, pump manufacturers out here. You have people that supply the pumps, people that dig everybody's fucking out here, man.
Supplying the pumps, eh?
Supplying the pumps, you do. Supplying the big ones. You should see them damn pumps. They're huge.
Just pumping away. Hi, Scott.
Got one right in the middle of Chili's parking lot. Goddamn it, I told you all that. Right, go to Walmart. You got fucking big old pump right in the middle, oil pump right there, right in the parking lot. Crazy.
No, wait a minute. I have heard of getting busy in Burger King bathroom, but you're out here pumping in a Chili's parking lot? What's going on here?
Hey, man, they got it right out there.
Stephen Butler says that to keep his job, Pat's eating shit and liking the taste of it. That's the thing about ESPN. I know he isn't exclusively with ESPN. I know it's like a simulcast or whatever, but they like to dance around politics, but when something gets a little too hot, they are the first motherfuckers to abandon ship immediately and to like scold whoever's responsible for the take that causes the controversy. And typically, if they continue to talk about politics, they usually end up firing them. So,
well, I mean, let's face it, when you've got deals with other countries, you don't want to fucking blow those deals. Those are huge. International deals are huge for TV stations. So, yeah, especially a sports place. I would assume they probably have some sort of deal with Canada to at least show their sports. So yeah, I would figure they wanted to keep it. And I have no problem with what Pat said. I think it was in a wrestling tone, and I really think he probably should have put that in that speech, but I got a feeling that was a teleprompter speech he was reading. Except for the end where he said, we got one here, okay, there's one here. What the fuck? Anyway,
it is also kind of funny because he's like, no, I don't hate Canada. I like you. I like fucking Tim Hortons and I like poutine. Like he starts listing off the most like fucking base level shit that Canada has. Like, I love maple syrup. Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But let's face it, Aunt Jemima's the shit.
I will say Pat McAfee definitely does seem like he likes Nickelback quite a bit.
Coldplay, Nickelback, all of them. All of them.
Is Coldplay Canadian? I thought they were British.
I don't know. Are they?
Rush, I know for sure, is Canadian.
Oh, but they're badass. Don't you fuck with fucking Tom Sawyer. Fuck that.
Like, yeah, dude. What else? There's other ones. Yeah, they're British.
Okay, I wasn't sure. That fucking guitar, man. That fucking guitar. Rush, man. They're badass. Badass. Now, there is something really horrible, though, coming out of this for Pat McAfee. Him and his family are getting death threats off of it. No, literal. Dude, they're threatening his little daughter. Like,
well, that's not cool.
No, this is horrible, what I'm seeing right here. Let me go to here. This is horrible. I don't know how good. Let me see how good this is. I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah, not very well at all, to be honest. Good morning, people. Standard Wednesday over here. That's the most I can make of it. Yeah,
I'm going to do this. And let's just, you can see that a little better, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. Starts out with this guy, B.A. Charles. Let's just get his fucking dumbass name out there. Starts out with, you're fucking pathetic. Punter. Ooh. Dickless. Anytime, anywhere, pussy. Sack up for once. Name it. I'll be there. Now, Pat, he's not replying to any of this. And then the guy says, bitch, and he puts up a picture with him and his daughter. His little daughter, who looks like she's 2, maybe 3. And this guy says, I hope that little fucking brat dies. And then calls him fuck it, I'm just going to fucking say it. Calls him a faggot. And then says, if you want to shit on free speech, you better be ready to die, you pathetic something. He didn't shit on free speech. God damn it. Not at all. But you know what? I don't give a fuck if he did. That is no reason to say anything about a little girl. No. No, man. This is fucked up. I don't know if this guy, I don't know where he's from. I don't know. But this is scary. The fact that, I mean, you've got this going on. You've got Asuka saying she doesn't feel safe in airports. You've got Rhea Ripley saying fans are coming to her house or shipping gifts to her house. Things are getting creepy out there, man.
Yeah, that whole Asuka thing is very strange. I've seen a lot of her tweets of just like, hey, please stop saying that you love me, trying to like get me into a relationship with you. That's not going to happen. Please stop.
You're not gonna fuck me. No.
We'd at least appreciate her honesty. And I thought it was weird that she specifically tagged my Twitter a couple of times. It's like I get the point. All right, chill out.
All right.
It's one thing to tweet; it's another to DM me specifically.
Yeah. Well, she just want to get her point across. Getting her point.
I got you. Yeah, I mean that actually is kind of two very different. I mean, I guess maybe not very different, but two different things. In the sense of just like that is unfortunately what a lot of famous women have to deal with.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying that it's getting creepy out there. Just pointing out some examples. I'm not saying they're the same at all.
Oh, for sure.
No, I mean, and by the way, those are two women who I think if it came down to it could both handle themselves, Oscar and Rhea Ripley. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Rhea tagged me a couple times too on her tweet. But I don't give a shit if you're married, so am I. Okay.
It's like specifically asking me to go to the Outback Steakhouse. It's just like, it's not even really Australian. It's insensitive is what it is.
But I do like the surf. I like the surf and turf, though. I do like the surf and turf plate.
And if you could please just stop sending me DVD copies of fucking The Crocodile Hunter or a Crocodile Dundee, that's pretty fucked up.
And if you're gonna send them, please send the box set because they're all fucking good.
You sent me 4 of the same fucking what is it? Fucking Men at Work CDs. It's ridiculous.
Hey, they got some good shit. I like Colin Hay, lead singer. He's fucking pretty badass. They got some good songs. I like Men at Work.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Who Can It Be Now? Yep, that's a great one. Land Down Under. The Land Down Under.
Overkill.
Yep, good one. Definitely a good one. They got some good shit, man, from the 80s. They were pretty big. And
I paused for a second because I was very afraid that I was going to accidentally call them Men Without Hats, which is something that happens from time to time. The dyslexia kicks in, and I confuse them with the fuckers that did the safety dance.
Isn't Duran Australian?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I'm going to guess British again, but I'm not positive.
I think they are. Duran.
Let's look it up. English, Birmingham.
God damn it. I've 2 Brits tonight. I fucked up both.
See, that's why Luke leaves early. You keep offending his countrymen. We're going to have to write you a pre-prepared speech that you got to half-heartedly read out loud.
Are you kidding? I got one right here. Right here. Let's just shake hands and move on. What do you say? Come on. Let's do it. Yeah.
Hey, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Got one right here. Pat, that wasn't a good thing. But again, I don't give a shit how mad you are at anybody threatening life or telling someone they wish their daughter died. That's fucking horrible. I'd be trying to hunt this son of a bitch down, but who am I? Men Without Hats are from Quebec.
Are they? Interesting.
All right. Definitely know Men Without Hats, Safety Dance. I definitely know that song. I did not know they were Canadian. I really thought they were like Dutch or something. I don't know why I thought that, but
I was unaware that they had a second hit song. Pop Goes the World, apparently. Steve Mullen knows his shit.
I will say my favorite sketch comedy show is from Canada, and it is Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall, absolutely.
I call them Children in the Hall. I don't know why I did that, but yes.
Kids in the Hall. I think about probably in September, I reviewed their movie Brain Candy, which is a fucking gem of a fucking comedy. It is so funny. I love that movie, Kids in the Hall. My wife was sitting there watching it with me, and she's like, "What in the fuck are you watching?" And I'm like, "You just gotta ride it out, babe. You just gotta ride it out. Don't ask me questions. Just ride the movie out." She thought it was hilarious by the end. It's a great fucking movie. But yeah, that is probably my favorite sketch comedy show. I used to catch it on Comedy Central way back in the day, like in the fucking early 90s. And I was still in high school when I was watching that show. But yeah, I used to catch it all the way back in the day, and they were hilarious. I played that one skit on the Fabulous 3 Nerds, which I'm going to try to get that done this weekend, man. Mm-hmm. I got a few programs. We'll try to get that done this weekend.
There you go. I never really watched Kids in the Hall. I need to at some point check it out. I do like Dave Foley though, and
yeah,
according to Wikipedia, I wanted to check to make sure that I was right, but Phil Hartman, Canadian as well. So there you go. That's a good thing.
Absolutely, Phil Hartman is, and oh my God, fucking rest in peace, Phil. I mean, I was glad to see. Did you watch the SNL 50, the 50th?
No.
Really? I got to tell you, I haven't watched SNL in a long time, but I did watch it, and I thought it was funny. I really. Guess what? I thought the Tom Hanks bit was funny too, folks. Just so you know, everything on that show was funny. It was nostalgic. Eddie Murphy was there. Adam Sandler sang a song that he couldn't even barely get through after he mentioned Farley, and Phil Hartman was in it. But it was good. It was a really good show. It was a really good show. I enjoyed it. I think you can probably catch it on Hulu or something.
I want to offer a hot take because I was talking to somebody the other day about like Mad TV versus SNL, and that's really not the discussion that I want to have. But I do want to say though, that Will Ferrell sketch, the fucking with more cowbell, one of the most overrated sketches of all time. Let's be honest about it. It's not
hilarious.
No, it's him in the tight shirt. It's not that funny.
No,
like people act like it's the funniest thing to ever exist.
No,
it's not.
He's not the funny part. He's not. Christopher Walken is the funniest part. Now, Will Ferrell's outfit is hilarious, but Christopher Walken doing what he did. I am Bruce Dickinson. Yes, that Bruce Dickinson. I mean, just that is the funny part of the whole scene. And then watching, oh my God, I forget the the Latino guy who couldn't even. He couldn't even hold it. He kept laughing so hard.
Sands?
Yes, thank you. Hilariously trying to keep his fucking cool. I love that skit, man. And I remember watching that when it first. You know what? It might have something to do with. I watched that live. I used to watch Saturday Night Live, and I saw that skit. Man, that's got a place in my heart. I was dying laughing watching that shit. Will Ferrell dancing around like he was, but Christopher Walken coming in. I gotta have more cowbell. Great shit, man. I'm sorry. I get it. I get it. You don't find it funny. No one's comedy is the same. I understand.
We'll get through this. I mean, I'm not even saying that there's not they don't do anything funny. It's just I feel like people overrate that sketch.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to catch the 50th to see who they had on, and they had on a lot. The crowd was filled with fucking celebrities, and Ryan Reynolds made a quick cameo. A lot of people were on and made cameos. It was a really fun, nostalgic episode. They had a lot of the old cast on. It was fun. I liked it.
Well, there you go.
I enjoyed it, but yeah. But, and like I said, I saw what Mike Myers did with the Canada is not for sale shirt. SNL has been political since I've known them. They've always done impressions of Bush and Reagan and all that shit. So I'm used to the political comedy, folks. I don't give a shit. Laugh it up. I don't care. Do what you're going to do, man. Do what you're going to do. Like I said,
I've never really been a big political comedy person. It's only because only half of the reason is because I'm not smart enough to understand what they're talking about. The other half is I just don't find it funny.
Yeah, and unfortunately, right now you've got a lot of literal political comics. I would consider Andrew Schultz a political comedian.
Although, what is hilarious in retrospect is like I like to go back from time to time, and if I could find any clips of it. Dennis Miller during Monday Night Football is actually one of the unintentionally most hilarious things in the world. Not because what anything Dennis Miller is saying is funny as much as it is. He's just annoying the ever-loving shit out of the guy that's commentating next to him, which is enjoyable for me because it was such a stupid fucking idea. That's ESPN for you, but that was such a fucking stupid idea to have Dennis Miller just show up and do Dennis Miller things during a football game.
Well, and Dennis Miller, another political comedian. I would consider Bill Maher a political comedian. And Bill Maher really can be some of his takes I appreciate. Some of his takes I'm just like, what the fuck are you thinking? Most of the time, though, Bill Maher is pretty on point, though, with what he says. He seems to be becoming more centrist as time goes on. He seems to becoming a little more center rather than either left or right. That's where a lot of us should be at this point in time. But anyway, at my age, I'm just to the not give a shit point. I'm damn near 50, and I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't. I just, like I said, this tariff bullshit is fucking with my business, and I'm not happy about that at all. But let's move on a little bit here. Let's do before we start getting into fucking actual politics. Ew, who wants to do that? Ugh.
Don't worry, I'm ill-equipped. I do my very best not to read or follow any of that shit.
Like I said, the main thing I'm following is the tariff stuff because I do, like I said, it does affect me, my business. And I mean, actually, we use steel in my business for steel rule dies when we make die cut boxes. So they use steel, which means my die costs are going up. You know, die costs were going up when lumber was going up. Now it's going to go up again with steel. It's going to be tough.
I saw Pat McAfee's fault, that motherfucker.
Yeah, let's blame Pat. I agree. That fucking Pat fucking McAfee. All you had to do was fucking shut the fuck up. Fucking poutine and Mounties. What are you talking about? We got one right here. Yeah. All right, Pat. All right, Pat. We might need to call the show. We got one right here. Okay. All right. I don't think we should. But anyway, as first reported by WrestleVotes, I think it might have been today. Actually, it was today. Sources indicate, now take all this with a grain of salt, folks, that the legendary tag team, the Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon, will be going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
That's pretty cool.
I think it would be too. I don't see any problem with that. My God, people were getting so mad over poor Michelle McCool. Calm down, folks. It's not a big deal. Anyway, you got the Natural Disasters right there. Let's see how that picture looks. That's not a bad one. Oh, that's perfect, actually. There you go. They were big guys, man. They were huge guys, and I do remember them from back in the day. They were fucking hosses back in the day. And still are, but
what I am curious about, and I'm glad more for Earthquake, because Earthquake seems like a really fucking good dude. And if you watch, like I said, The Dark Side of the Rainbow, that Earthquake is just fucking depressing. Because like nothing bad even happens to it. Like he doesn't get fucking drugs, or he doesn't have like a drug problem, alcohol problem. He doesn't like fucking do steroids or any of that bullshit. Just ends up getting cancer and dying because he can't afford to have cancer. So it's like, that sucks. But good for him that they're actually putting him in the Hall of Fame. The question that I have, though, it's like, do you cover the Golga period of like when he was with the Oddities, he was under the mask, and they just pretended that it wasn't Earthquake, or do we just leave that buried?
You're just going to let that lie because this is for the Natural Disasters. Not quite sure this is the best time to bring out the Natural Disasters, but anyway.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, but okay, yeah, I get that it's a tag team, but you are 110% gonna have to mention Shockmaster. So if you mention Shockmaster, dollars to donuts, I bet you anything in the world that if they do in fact induct them, that they're going to mention Shockmaster.
You kind of have to. You're right. You do. You might absolutely. You might have to. But I mean, listen, they deserve that. I remember vividly their feud with Hawk and Animal when they were Legion of Doom. Even earlier than that with fucking Ted DiBiase and IRS. I remember that shit. And I remember they came out with the Mouth of the South, old Jimmy Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Good times, man. Good times.
True North is saying that he liked Earthquake, but he preferred Earthquake when he was in WCW because he was the Avalanche.
It's an avalanche! Snow filled the air, buries everything. Time to be scared, you better be aware. It's a nightmare, you better run away if you just can't stay.
I will say, I read that in real time and it popped me because at first the nerd in me took over and I was like, wait a minute, he was the shark in W. I was like, oh, wait, I see what you're doing. All right. You want it, you got it. But it was like, wait a minute, no, hold on. Was he the Avalanche in WCW? No, okay, I got you.
Nah, it's all right, though. It's all right. He was. So. But, yeah, that's pretty cool, though. That I got no problems with them going in. I see no issues at all with it. For everyone else in the Hall of Fame, what's the fucking difference at this point, right?
Holy shit, he actually was the Avalanche in WCW. I remember him as a shark, but I thought he was always just a shark in WCW. I am not that well versed in old WCW. I was always a WWF kid.
No, he was. That was his name.
Neat.
It was. So we do have a retirement coming up pretty soon, everybody. Actually coming up March 20th, Thursday, March 20th. Homicide. Outlaw Wrestling announced that Homicide will be stepping into the ring one last time, and this is going to be it for him. So I don't know how much you've seen Homicide, Smark.
Love Homicide.
You know who he is, of course. I do know that.
Absolutely. I was a fan of his work because I watched Ring of Honor fucking 04, 03 or so. Because it was a very good departure from what WWF was doing at the time, especially during the fucking Triple H reign of terror. But he will forever, in my opinion, be immortalized by that fucking Samoa Joe CM Punk shoot interview, where CM Punk tells a story about Homicide trying to pee on somebody when he was drunk. Oh yeah, so he tried to pee on Punk when he was drunk, and then he also they were at somebody's house, having a house party or whatever, and he peed all over this lady's shoes, which was wild. But yeah, I can't think of Homicide without hearing, yo, I gotta pee, yo.
Oh shit, good story. I remember hearing that. I don't remember hearing that one. I don't think I've seen that shoot interview, but there it is right there. End of an era. Homicide going to be stepping into the ring one last time. Me and Shaheen interviewed him. He was pretty nice guy, pretty down to earth actually.
That's what I'll never understand is for somebody that hangs out with Loki as much as he does, how he's actually a decent guy.
I don't know, but it didn't rub off on him. He was definitely cool. He was definitely a pretty cool guy when we were talking to him. I had no problem at all with him. So he was very nice to us and it was a good interview. I don't even know if you can find those anymore. Don't even know if they're available. They may be.
No, sure.
Take a look. They're on a hard drive. I can't seem to get the power up, so I need to do something with it. But anyway, damn Homicide, go in there. I'm sure he's going to go in there and fucking tear it up for this last fucking match. So if you're near Outlaw Wrestling, wherever they are, where are they again? They are in New York.
Yeah, he's in New York.
Perfect place for Homicide. That is his hometown anyway. So there you go.
Oh, one more Homicide story that kind of only tangentially involves Homicide, but it was one of my favorite moments in wrestling, and I will never forget it. Again, to go back to Ring of Honor, I want to say maybe 04, 05, they brought in Jushin Liger. And one of the shows, it was they brought him in for a weekend, so it was Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday, not important. Anyways, one of the nights he was wrestling Homicide, who had Julius Smokes with him as his manager. And Julius Smokes' whole gimmick is basically he's just this ghetto dude. And Liger has Homicide in this rest hall. I think he's got him in a chin lock or something, but it's it's a down spot in the match. The crowd's quiet. He's working this rest hold on him. And you just hear Julius Smokes staring at Jushin Liger. You just hear him yell, "Fuck you, cocksucker!" And I laugh so fucking hard. I rewound that 2 or 3 times. It kills me that he just one of the biggest legends in wrestling history. He just yells "fuck you, cocksucker" at him as loud as humanly possible.
That's funny. Well, shit. Anyway, folks, that's gonna be Homicide stepping into the ring for his last time. So you're near there in New York, go check him out. So All right, we can take that one off the screen now. We're not playing it again. God damn it, no. So AEW had a nice little announcement today, Smart.
Oh,
Yes, they did. Yesterday. I'm sorry, it was yesterday. And it was them announcing that they had made a distribution agreement with Prime, Amazon Prime Video. So it's a multi-year agreement with Prime. They're going to offer the pay-per-view events, not live programming, but it's going to be in US, Canada, and the UK. It'll start with this weekend's Revolution, March 9th. And now you're not going to be able to, just because you pay for Prime, you're not going to be able to see these for free. You're still going to have to buy these by event for $49.99. So, yeah. Now, I don't know how it is with football. I don't know if you pay for a tier. I don't know if you pay for or boxing. I don't know if you just pay for it like that. But you will be able to see Dynamite. Well, Dynamite and everything is on Max, so we're not going to be able to see all that. But anyway, if you want to get the pay-per-view, you still have to pay the $50 to get the pay-per-view. So it's still pay-per-view. I don't see this working well for them at all.
I mean, define well. Like, I mean, I'm not even trying to be like funny or an asshole or anything, but it's like it's a place where more people can get it, or it's more easily accessible for people to buy it than maybe going to like Fight TV or like wherever the fuck they were doing their pay-per-views at from before.
True.
But at the same time, like, I could see people just being mad at them for like, okay, you're on Prime, but you got to still buy it. Because you were talking about the boxing and football. I don't know about the boxing, but the football, the Thursday night football, that's just with Prime Video. Like, that's free. You don't have to pay anything.
Okay. Which is the way to do it. Listen, dude, Prime ain't cheap. It's fucking $100 a year. I mean, I think that's what we pay, like $100 a year, $99 a year or something.
Mm.
That's not fucking cheap, man. So I don't know, man. I'm just not crazy about this whole thing. I don't think. I mean, who's gonna pay $50 each? I mean, each month, sometimes twice a month with this fucking company for pay-per-views.
Right. Well, of course we do, because we watch the pay-per-view. So we're of course legally buying.
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
It's freaking me out because I'm blinking with my left eye, but it's like flipped on the screen, so it looks like I'm doing it with my right eye to me. It's like it's fucking me up.
Either way, I see it. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't know. I just don't see this working out very well. I just think pay-per-view is starting to become a dying breed. People can find this shit elsewhere.
Yeah.
And let's face it. I mean, you can always get a VPN and find shit everywhere, folks. I'm sorry, but you just can't.
Right. I mean, it might not be fair, I guess, to expect that from AEW because they're still a younger company and they're still growing or whatever. But yeah, it just doesn't look great that you can get all the WWE ones for free and then the AEW ones you still have to buy, even if they're offering them through Prime. So it's like, that doesn't look great. But what can you do?
I see this. I mean, I don't know. I could see if they have an an escape clause in there, then that might happen. But we'll see what happens. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, and I don't care. But anyway, I guess we can move on. This isn't going to be a huge thing that we have to spend a ton of time on, Smart. But I did go ahead and get this. WWE 2K25 has announced their downloadable character pack.
Oh yeah, I'm actually excited for this. And you should be able to guess why as you read through some of the people that are available in the DLC. But, well, I mean, conceptually speaking, the fact that you're announcing DLC before the game comes out, because I think it comes out midnight tonight if you have like a pre-order, or it just comes out in general at midnight tonight. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have a pre-order and I'm not buying it yet. Right. As a matter of fact, I'm not buying it until July at the very earliest.
All right, I can't make this too much bigger, but that's all right. They're doing this kind of like month by month, and I know y'all can't see that too well. I guess I can make it a little bit better. That's a little better. Or we can do this. No, I won't do that. All right, we'll just do this right here. And no, we'll put it back the way it was, and I'll just read it out to you guys. So in May, they're going to put out a pack. It's called the New Wave Pack. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Julia, wow, already. Stephanie Vacour, already. And a special celebrity guest to be announced. Huh. Travis Scott.
Wow.
Welcome to 2K25. I wouldn't doubt it. So, all right, now we have the Dunk and Destruction pack coming in June. And you know, this is so well deserved, in my opinion. Abyss, well deserved for Abyss. Great Khali, you're fucking wasting content. And 3 NBA stars that are going to be announced. Okay.
Yes.
Then we got the Fearless pack in July, and talk about another guy this is so deserved for him. New Jack in July, folks. You're going to be able to download fucking New Jack.
Let's fucking.
So I just tased him. I tased the shit out of him. You're like, Jack, I can't feel my legs. I said, you ain't gonna need them. Bombs away.
Oh, poor Vic Grimes.
I was so fucking ecstatic because, like I said, I haven't played a WWE 2K game since I think the CM Punk one, the Punk one where Punk was on the cover. It's been a minute,
right?
And like, I never really have a super big interest in playing these things because, like, I don't really play online like that.
Right.
And that seems like that's kind of the main thing to do. Like, the best way to get the actual, like, fun and enjoyment out of the game is to be able to play people online, play with friends and shit like that.
Yeah. But
they put out the fucking this July pack is going to be New Jack and Penta. It's like, well, all right, I guess I'm buying this fucking thing. I will say though, they won't, but I really wish that they would put the song in the game because it's gonna feel weird to play with New Jack as New Jack or whatever, and to like, or at the very least, figure out a better version of his theme than the one that they fucking have now, the weird dubbed one that sounds like some kind of like fucking weird 90s like comedy version of a hip hop song. And it's just like, if you can't pay for Natural Born Killers, get a better version than what you're using for New Jack now, please, at the very least.
I'm sure they'll find something. Maybe. Who knows? But let's see. Let's keep going here. Jordan Grace will be in the July pack. As you said, Penta, Bull Nakano, and another special celebrity guest to be announced. Then we've got the Attitude Era Superstars pack. It's coming up in September of 2025. We're going to have D'Lo Brown, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, Victoria, who recently signed a Legends deal. I'm actually very happy for Victoria, and Mark Henry, folks. Then we've got the last one here coming out in November. This is going to be the Saturday night main event pack. You've got Jesse Ventura, Mr. Wonderful, Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog. I'm excited for that one. And Sid Justice. Nice, they're putting Sid in here too. But Junkyard Dog, I'm kind of excited for that one. I was a fan of Junkyard. I don't give a shit. You can tell me he was bad in the ring all day. Motherfucker was entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment. And Nora Victoria's back. Jelly Roll.
Next to celebrities, Jelly Roll.
They haven't had Jelly Roll. Yes, they did. You're right. That could be. Listen, they have two things here with celebrities. So one could be. I definitely could be, and I might be wrong on both of them. Or
$70. Well, actually, it's going to be a little bit more because you buy the base game and then you buy the DLC. So $70+, a little bit under 100, I would imagine, for the opportunity to play as New Jack and beat up potentially Jelly Roll. That would actually be a worthy use of about $80 to $85. I'd be okay with that.
Actually, not bad. There you go, Norab. Grab them cakes. Ooh,
True North wants to know how much the Chris Benoit skin is going to cost.
yeah, cost you your life. Ooh. No, I don't know.
I just pictured the idea of like Chris Benoit being in Fortnite. Just like I don't have anything other than that, but just the idea conceptually of Chris Benoit being in Fortnite is fucking killer.
Just going to choke out all these kids. Oh shit! I said that out loud. Fuck. $129.99. The game is $129.99 plus tax. What the fuck?
I think that's like the special edition. I don't know if that's like the fucking Undertaker edition, because there's one edition where it's like you get like an Undertaker themed controller or some bullshit. I never buy any of those special editions because they're just insanely expensive, and you really don't get anything that typically is worth it, in my opinion.
No, it's like my wife had to get when we got the Xbox 360, she had to get the Final Fantasy one for it. I'm like, what the fuck? Look at the controller. Look at the skin. Look at this. You know what that thing is now? In my fucking shed in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for the Xbox 360. In my shed in a box. Haven't seen it in 3-4 years. I haven't seen that. But still, we had to get the better.
Well, there you have it. Plus, with stuff like that, especially with the WWE game, especially after what happened with fucking 2K20, I like to at least make sure the game has been out for a minute and to see that it's at least decent. Like, I'm not even expecting it to be great. I'm just expecting it not to be like fucking incredibly awful, like historically bad, which I guess is like what WWE 2K20 was, because people really hated it. It was like glitchy and bug filled.
I didn't think it. I think that's the last one I actually got was 2K20. Dude, I even got that fucking Hulk Hogan Legends of WrestleMania game that you played on the VR. I even got that shit. Not the VR, it was virtual, but it wasn't VR. It was, you just played it in front of the TV. You literally were running around wrestling people. It was weird.
You play as Hulk Hogan and you ask people to leave the neighborhood. Now, what those specific people are and what they have in common, leave it to your imagination. But
you're right. Yeah, really, what you did is you just walked around and told everyone to pull their pants up. That's really all you did the whole game. You just went and pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, brother. You gotta leave
in my restaurant, dude.
You gotta leave, brother. You gotta get out of here.
There you have it.
Anyway, that's it. I think this is gonna be a very good game.
He saw his friend live stream the game. He said it was unplayable. The online was interesting.
Really? That is interesting.
Single player stuff is fine. I don't know if he's talking about 2K20 or the one that's coming out right now.
I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool to have some of these good downloadable characters. So we'll get that rocking and rolling. But folks, I think it's finally happened. I think Fenix has also been removed from the AEW roster page. So looks like he is probably, everyone is expecting him to go right to WWE. Now, here's my thing. I'm going to figure WWE thought they weren't going to get him for a good while. They might have already planned out a few things for Penta. I would not be surprised if we saw Fenix not show up for a while, or if we saw Fenix show up in NXT for a few till after WrestleMania.
From what I've heard, no reps in 2K25, so apparently the new one right now that's about to come out is the online's unplayable. Interesting.
Really?
I heard a couple of things about it. I heard that, like, I don't know, like the island's kind of not so great, but I don't know. I haven't seen any actual footage yet. But yeah, the Fenix thing, from what I've heard, they say that they're preparing for him to, like, you know, be with the company at any moment now. And I don't know what those plans are in terms of the preparation. I don't know if they actually have angles and shit ready for him or not. It kind of seems like it doesn't really make much sense to bother really doing too much anything with him right now, unless you really want to have him on WrestleMania. Like, I would just wait until after Mania.
Oh, you could still have him on Mania, come out as a surprise, or maybe whatever's happening at Mania, they jump in. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, listen, I would love to see. I think that'd be a great opportunity for him. I would love to see Ray Fenix over there. But they are just so close to WrestleMania. You don't want to fuck with any storylines, but you could also switch up a little bit. Maybe this was supposed to go, left. You make it go right. Who knows? We'll see. We will see. But I'm not even sure. I mean, they're not going to be the Lucha Brothers. Maybe. I don't see that happening either. They'll literally have the word brothers instead of bros.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what they'll do to get around it. We'll see.
Lucha Hermanos.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Fucking really just take a shot at AEW and call them the powerful and prideful. The fucking pride. I know that was LAX and not the Lucha Brothers, but goddamn, that was such a terrible fucking name. Pride, powerful.
And that was so bad, but good for Phoenix. I don't know if someone finally just looked at Tony and said, why would you keep a guy who doesn't want to be here? What is the fucking point in wasting money? Maybe someone fucking looked at him and said that, or maybe Tony fucking came to his senses. I have a feeling it's the latter. But either way, good to see Phoenix is out. Phoenix is free. Phoenix can do what he wants, and hopefully we will see him in WWE sooner rather than later.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like, it gets to the point after a while where, like, I just want to see the people that I like wrestle somewhere. Like, I said that about Ricky Starks too, and then they like immediately made a liar out of me by making his first match be against like fucking Ethan Page in a tag match. I'm like, all right, well, hold on. there are reasonable limits to this shit. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we're not the biggest Ethan Page fans over here, but
no.
But anyway,
there's a shoot interview online. I believe it's from High Spot, so it's like legal and legit or whatever that they put up. It's like the full shoot interview of him and Eddie Kingston, and he comes off as the biggest fucking egotistical douchebag in the world. Ugh. It's just amazing. And this is like pre-TNA, so it's like, okay, he talks all this shit and acts like he's like God's gift to wrestling, and then like he's not even like a main eventer in TNA. He goes to AEW and fails. He goes to WWE and they just fucking bury him in NXT. It's like, good job. You're like sort of there, I guess. You made it kind of, sort of.
Whatever. But I'm glad to see Phoenix out of there and raring to go, and we'll see what happens with him. But anyway, Smart, I think we should just probably do Revolution predictions and talk AEW while we're doing it, because AEW last night was the go home show for Revolution. I mean, I guess if you want to consider Collision their go home show, it's really Wednesdays what the most eyes are on.
Right.
So we could probably just do that's usually how we get it done the best way. There was a little, I mean, the only thing I will bring up from AEW Dynamite is obviously we saw a little bit of dissension happening in Death Riders. I think a lot of people are happy to see that. I am not sure if they're pivoting or if they're because you saw Wheeler Yuta finally stood up to Moxley. Edge or a Cope showed Yuta, a little handshake respect, pissed off Moxley. So you're seeing a little bit there, and it's supposed to be just them two because Cope is taking everyone else out. So,
do you know what this reminds me of? Is like a less impactful version of like, you remember like when Cena basically just fucking destroyed the entire Nexus by himself.
Yes,
it's kind of like that, except that like people were mad about it because people actually liked Nexus and thought it could have been something. This is more of just like, yeah, okay, Cope destroyed Death Riders. Let's rewind to something else.
At least Cope has had help. Jay White, Willow Nightingale. Cena just went out there and literally destroyed everybody, dumped a fucking rope full of chairs on Wade Barrett, and it was over. He literally buried Wade Barrett under chairs and literally buried Wade Barrett. I mean, buried Wade Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what happened. But just the rope chairs thing is funny. It's like I've forgotten that that's what the stage looked like, but yeah, that's exactly what happened. The fucking rope full of chairs.
It was a rope full of chairs, and he buried them in the chairs. God, that had to hurt. But anyway, that's really, I'm trying to think through, and there was really nothing. I mean, MJF and Hangman got into a nice little pull apart. Will Ospreay had a great match.
I just set him on fire.
He did. MJF did try to set Hangman on fire.
I gotta say though, like, okay, I understand you gotta move the story along or whatever, but that kind of made Hangman look like an idiot. Because like MJF's whole thing is that he always tries to run from confrontation at any given opportunity, if at all possible. Yeah. And then he cut a promo where he's like, "Come find me, I'm gonna fuck you up." And Hangman didn't at all think that that was mildly suspicious.
Yeah, true. Listen, I'm not gonna say it was a perfect show, but I thought it was a decent show last night. But
it was good. I like it.
I mean, like I said, we'll just get into the matches. Whatever happened last night. This is not a small card. There's 10 fucking matches on this card.
Hey, what did you think of the Outrunners segment? The fucking 80s training montage with like whatever the most cheesy, and I mean this in a good way, the most cheesy fucking music playing by like it like was like some straight up Rocky training montage type shit. It was
dude, that was full on 80s montage music. That was fucking like American Gladiator shit. I loved it. I loved the whole thing. I loved the retro shooting of it, the style. I thought it was fucking awesome. I really did. I know a lot of people hated it, but I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Loved it.
I loved it. I really did. But let's see if I put this up, but it's going to make a difference. Because I can't, so many matches, I can't just make it giant. Nope, can't read it. All right, we won't do it in one page. We'll do this. Whoa, there we go. We can see it now. Yes. There we go. All right. We have the pre-show is going to start off. It's going to be Big Boom AJ, Smark's favorite, and the conglomeration, which is going to be Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe, versus Johnny TV. Really?
Mm-hmm.
John Morrison. Very nice. Eminem, which is Mansoor and Mason Madden. They're coming off the WWE side there, and they're going to be in a trios match, and this is for the pre-show. I'm assuming you want to go into the pay-per-view with happy Big Boom AJ bringing you in happy to the pay-per-view.
I pray to God that just something happens where just like he accidentally drops one of them on their head, and it's like that fucking Saturn Mike Bell situation where like Saturn freaks out, just starts beating the ever loving shit out of him for realsies. Like, somebody please, like, fucking Morrison, do it. I believe in you. I've always believed in you. Just fucking shoot at him. Just beat the ever loving shit. What happened to fucking, what was that guy's name? I completely forgot. Like the celebrities that, like, why do they keep using this guy?
The Rizzler?
No, not the Rizzler. There was I'm trying to remember his name. It's going to take me a minute. But they use they've used celebrities before that haven't sucked and actually added things to the show. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, the MMA guy that they used to bring out. He was like a heel, and he would cut these promos, and he like fucking completely destroyed Brandy Rose on the mic.
Was it
Dan Lambert? There we go. What the fuck happened to Dan Lambert? I was trying to remember. Like, that's why I got to write things down because the memory fails me. I was watching Dynamite last night. I was like, what the fuck happened to Dan Lambert? Like, if you're going to use celebrities or pseudo-celebrities, why not use ones that actually add things to the show? Because, like, his promos were fucking great, and then he just magically disappeared.
I think he just had a few appearance deal and then took off.
Have Dan Lambert come out with a long-awaited return and just make fun of the fucking Costco guys.
Never know. Could happen. Oh, there we go. You can't make this a lot bigger. There we go. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, so you're going with conglomeration and AJ.
That's who's going to win, but I'm not going to predict them to win because my heart won't allow me to do that. I'm going with Johnny TV and the boys.
Okay. There you go. And the boys. There's a good
And I will say this right now, and I stand by it. If they ever, for any reason, put the fucking Costco guys with Eddie Kingston, I'm never watching another second of AEW television, and I swear to God, I'm dead serious about that.
Okay.
I will find Tony Khan, and I will fucking put fentanyl in his cocaine myself.
Oh, shit. Hypothetically.
Yes.
Right. Let's just get that out there. Allegedly. Wait, I'm not sure what to use at this point. I'm not sure. No. Next match, folks, is the Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. We had a big clusterfuck of those guys out there the other night. They were in a steel cage. They're going to be in a steel cage match this Saturday, those two. I'm gonna. I want to say Will Ospreay, but I got to tell you, the smart move. They're trying to push Kyle Fletcher. I would put Fletcher over in this steel cage match.
I can't remember who won last time. I'm just gonna go with Ospreay.
Okay, all right. I would put. I don't care if Don Callis is down there somehow fucks everything up. I would say Kyle Fletcher. That's what I'm going with. So now we have a singles matches for the AEW Continental Championship. Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King. Brody King suddenly babyface. Sure.
Yes.
Sure. No, I'm just no. That wasn't my pick. That was just a observation by me.
Well, that's even what the I guess is for, because it's like I don't know if they're trying to make him face or not. Like it seemed like they were trying to make Okada face a little bit too, but then now he's back to being a heel again. And
yeah, I mean,
it's kind of confusing.
Had Brody out there with all the faces last night in that fucking clusterfuck match, but I don't know. They haven't done enough with Brody, so I'm definitely going to say Okada keeps that title. They just haven't pushed anything. There's no real meaty feud here that there should be a title change.
No, it was big tacked on at the last minute, unfortunately. And I like Brody, and I want him to win more often, but that's not happening.
Yeah, so we're both going Okada here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this is going to be a hell of a match. It's a singles match, no stipulation. And this is going to be MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. This is probably going to be a pretty brutal match. You've got to have Hangman take this.
You would think, unless they're going to extend the feud. But MJF's basically kind of gotten the best of him, like at all conceivable moments. Because
you can't have, because you want to. No, because you're trying to push MJF towards that title spot again.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to fucking. It's got to be a fucking heel win. You know what I mean? A heel win. There's going to be fucking the ring involved.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
My guess is Jared comes back to help him.
Oh, that could be. That could be. Christopher Daniels could come back and try to help out Hangman, ends up helping MJF. Who knows?
Something like that. Who
knows? But I'm going to, you know what? MJF really needs to be the one to win this match one way or the other. You're going with MJF too?
Yeah.
All right. We've got a match here for the Tag Team Championships. You've got the Hurt Syndicate with MVP and the Outrunners. These are not the guys to take it off the Hurt Syndicate yet.
No. I think it's going to work out good for them because I think they're going to take a beating and they're going to show how resilient they are and all that kind of stuff. But that's the Hurt Syndicate for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a definitely good match too between them. So let's scroll down a little bit here. Get these last few matches in. All right, so now we've got a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné, current champion, versus Momo Watanabe. Now, why? Why would they take the title off from Mercedes? Why? Explain to me. There's no reason for this.
Theoretically, I don't think she's losing, but theoretically, it could make the belt look more prestigious if it was being like defended overseas by Momo and Stardom. Like theoretically, like I don't think that's what's going to happen because I feel like they're probably building towards a Mercedes Athena feud, but it's possible.
I'm still going with Mercedes to the win.
Me too.
Okay, good. Now, we've got another one here. We've got Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet. This is a singles match to determine the number one contender for the AEW World Championship here. I want to say Ricochet with Nana turning. I really want to say it, but I don't know if now is the right time. But go ahead.
What's weird about this is if Ricochet wins with Nana's help, which is what I think is going to happen, you would then have MJF and Ricochet vying for the world title, but they're both heels and Moxley's heel. So, like, what happens then? I pray to God that they don't have him lose the belt, but maybe.
I don't know.
We'll get to that in a minute, I suppose. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll jump ahead and just say that I do think Ricochet wins with Nana's help.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's, I don't know. It might be too early, and I'm probably, this is the match I expect to be wrong on, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, those guys had a really good segment last night on that was a great contract signing between those two guys. I thought really did. Swerve just is. It's like every week he comes off like more of just a bad motherfucker, not a badass, a bad motherfucker.
That's right.
I mean, he's getting Samuel Jackson out in that motherfucker.
You know what I could actually see happening in the not too distant future? Like maybe not in a pay-per-view, but at least like an episode of Dynamite. I could see a world where Swerve teams with Hangman versus Ricochet and MJF. You have a whole big story about that, about like whether or not they could trust each other and so on and so forth, have those feuds intertwined.
I could see that. But you had Swerve get the scissors and cut Ricochet last night. Pretty good shit there. Right on the top of the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had we've got Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Falls count anywhere for the AEW World Championship. A great segment last night with these two, with Renee Paquette in the middle. I'd love to have her in the middle. Anyway, are you guys noticing Mariah May is starting to go a little insane now? And it's almost like these two characters are going to end up, they are, I believe, I see these two ending up tag teaming within the next few months, not right now. This is going to be a pretty badass match. I definitely see Toni Storm keeping the title right now. She is doing amazing things. This movie is coming out. There is no reason to take the title off of Timeless Toni Storm right now. Absolutely zip, zero, zilch.
Right. Same. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Let's go over to this singles match for the AEW International Championship. Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. This is going to be a great fucking match. Now, we all know Takeshita right now is the champion. Kenny Omega just coming back. I would not. All right, here's my thought here, Smark. Ratings have been dwindling a little bit. I think Tony might think if I put a title on Kenny Omega, it might bring some more people back. I got a feeling this title comes off of Takeshita, goes on Omega because of that thinking.
Yep, I kind of agree. I mean, I kind of similar line of thinking. Just like Kenny hasn't had a belt in a while. Kenny's a good wrestler. Kenny needs something to do. Put the belt on Kenny.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement there. And I'm kind of glad they didn't really touch on this match too much. They had, you definitely had the Callis family do their thing last night. They were beating the shit out of Orange Cassidy, and good stuff. But I definitely see Omega taking this. I wouldn't even doubt if Jay White comes out and helps him or something. Then we got this last match, which I think is going to be, and I got to tell you, this last match is actually kind of a toss-up for me. This is for the AEW World Championship. It's Jon Moxley versus the Rated R superstar, Cope. I got to tell you, man, this is a toss-up. Moxley's had that title, and the fact that they've been bringing up the fact that he's been hiding the title, I got a feeling they're tired of hearing it because people are actually complaining about that. You can't even see the title. It's ridiculous. You could see him putting it on Cope, but what does that do with, I don't know. It's like, what happens after that? What happens after that is my thing. I don't know. I don't think Moxley really needs the championship to be doing the Death Riders thing. I think it's basically stupid because you don't see the title. So I think it's stupid for him to have it. Him chasing the title would actually be a better storyline in this. Him beating down people in order to get his title back. That's actually interesting, not him beating down people because it's another segment on the show. I'm actually, you know what? I just talked myself into hoping that Cope wins. So I'm going Cope.
I kind of wonder if this is just an opportunity with him, like, taking out all the members of Death Riders. Is just an opportunity to be like, hey, let's go ahead and walk away from this Death Riders thing. Like, it's gone nowhere and it's done nothing for anyone. Probably not, though, because like the whole feud storyline, whatever's been built on the idea that he's not going to have anybody. He being Moxley is going to have anybody to help him. It's like inevitably somebody's going to help him. Well, if I had to guess, who we haven't seen in a while, 2 or 3 weeks or so, they kind of dropped the feud that they were having kind of abruptly. It's like we haven't really heard much from Christian lately. I could see him getting involved in this. I don't know if they're going to really be so eager as to run Edge versus Christian back again, or Cope versus Christian back again, but I can see that because he has that fucking title opportunity hanging around. They just don't mention that anymore. They don't mention Jeff Jarrett has a title opportunity too. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking this random threads hanging in the air at the moment. I'm just going to go with Moxley. Like, he hasn't done a good job with it this time around. Death Riders hasn't been good. This feud hasn't been good, in my opinion. But just leave it on Moxley, I guess.
I don't know, man. I just think it's time to get that title back on television, shiny, bright, looking good on someone who's going to maybe bring a few eyes. I mean, people are absolutely hating this Death Rider gimmick. And like I said, maybe him chasing the title would breathe a little bit of life into it. Maybe Yuta leaving would be another good thing where they can start getting a little feud with him, start getting away from the other roster. I don't know. I'm just thinking there's many ways that this is that Cope winning is a positive, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But they could also lazy book and just say, let's just keep it on Moxley. Everything's going fine, which
it is not.
Which is probably gonna be the way it goes. And then I don't know. Christian could come down and cash in on Moxley too. We don't know. But as you said before, I definitely see them running back Christian Cope one more time, one way or the other. I definitely see that happening.
I'm kind of hoping something big happens to, like, with that. Something has to happen at some point. It just seems like, though, especially with the whole Death Riders thing, like you said, a lot of people hate it. But just like, it's just been so directionless. It just seems like there's no real point to what they're doing.
Yeah, it's very bland. It really is. And it's a lot of people are complaining about it. And I get it. I'm not saying you don't have the right, but it definitely, they need to either tone it down or cut it out. They have toned it down. They've got it to only a couple, like 1 to 2 at the most segments on the show. Now it's just worth it. I think you need to get that title back on your television show. I'm not that I think that's going to bring in oh my God, the ratings are coming back up because of the title. No. I just think people want to see it. I just think people want to see it again.
Like, I genuinely care more about whether or not Nana gets his robe back than whether or not Coke wins the title. Like, I don't think that, nothing against Nana. Fucking this where Ricochet feud's been good, but like, I don't know if that's a good thing for the company or a good thing for the title. Like, I'm even kind of more interested in that tag title match, and I know for a fact, well, not for a fact, but I'm relatively sure that that the fucking Outrunners are going to get beaten into oblivion.
Yeah, probably. But it should be a fun match to watch with those guys. So we'll see what goes on there. But I think that's about it, Smark. Unless you got anything else on that we missed on Dynamite that you wanted to talk about, or anything else?
No, I think that'll about do it.
All right, tit me.
That's right. Totally Inappropriate Team Sports Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. on the YouTube. Go ahead and check us out. There's no show last week because Cheese was sick, wasn't feeling well. He's an old man now. He turned 40 the other day. So go ahead and check us out. Make fun of him for being old there on Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. We're going to be talking NFL free agency. That's on the horizon. We're talking some hockey, probably some other bullshit. Go ahead and listen. Give us a try. Check us out.
There you go. There you go. And folks, I heard Trump say it, no tax on tits.
That's it.
Or was that tips?
Just the tips.
Folks, tip the tits. Whichever it is, tip the tits. One of them has no tax. Maybe coming up later. I'm not sure which. But yeah, folks, I'll be back on Hollywood Hangout this weekend, this Saturday. Be honest, I have not decided what I'm doing yet, but I'll get into something. But that's once again 8:30 p.m. Eastern time right there on Mixler. I'm debating whether or not to renew my Mixler subscription. I might move that show over to YouTube too. It's just so hard to do on YouTube because of the way I do that show. I'll work it out one way or the other, folks. One way or the other, that show will be is going to stay live. Maybe live. Maybe I'll just start recording it. I'll figure it out one way or the other, everybody. But we'll be back here, me and Smark, next motherfucking week, Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Full wrestling outlet right here on the YouTuber. And I think that is it, everybody. All right. Y'all have a good one. And on that note, see ya. Exactly what he said.